Hello.
Hi, good
Hey,
morning.
good morning. Hold on here.
Okay.
It, oh, I can't even type this morning. I'm just like out of it. I'm just, I'm like, just like, oh man, where am I? What am I?
Well, I just got out of the shower. My hair's still wet.
I'm just like, who am I?
Your Drema.
Yeah, I
And
feel
I'm
like,
Shannon
yeah,
from
yeah.
from,
Good morning.
from I Evolve TV and Destiny
And
Words.
Destiny words, yay! Here
I'm
we
pointing in the
are.
right direction. It's
Yeah,
like the Brady Bunch.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, there she is, right there, right there.
Yeah, like it's the opposite direction.
Yes.
I don't, or maybe it's not. It's just I'm turned around. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, at least, they point down, point up.
I like your
There you go.
hat.
No, thank you. My kitty. I like kitties. They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good morning. It's another wonderful day. We got some snow last night. April Fool's on us, huh?
Yeah, really. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Mother
Letting the
Nature
dogs
said,
out.
we said, it's spring, and Mother Nature says, no, I'm going to give you some snow to remind you who's boss. You know, and so, yeah. And
Well,
it's
that has to
cold.
happen.
It's cold out there. Wow.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I opened the back door to let the dog out. I'm like, what
I
is
did too. I
this?
was like, dog's got to go out. And I'm like, oh, freezing. And she didn't
Yeah.
even like it. She's
And
like,
that would have been at like 5:15 a.m. And
holy
I
cow.
managed to get myself to the gym.
Look at you go. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And look
Thank
at
you.
you.
It's a good time. That time works for me. So, you know,
Yeah.
we go
Yeah.
that early in the morning.
Is there like
So,
nobody there?
oh, no, sometimes it's packed. And
That
there's
early?
yeah, and there's actually like a shorter, they call it boot camp. It's like a shorter class
Really? That,
before 5:45. Yeah. And then
wow.
I'm thinking they're crazy. Like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. To get up and get there that early in the morning and
Yeah.
wow. That's dedication. I'm really impressed by that because that does not, mm-mm.
It just, it
That's
does a lot for your mental health too. It just it
like, wow, that's dedication. I don't got
Mhm.
that. But that kind of a thing, you know. If you wanted to get up and take me yard sailing, now I know that's something I'm dedicated to.
Really?
I could get up and go yard sailing early.
There
Yeah.
wasn't much yard sailing
No,
last year.
no, I know it was like not happening. But anyway, this is a good day. And today is
It
part
is.
three.
Part 3 of ancestral karma. Why is it important to heal it? And well, there's a lot of good reasons, but I should mention that I did some work after our show yesterday. Um, that I meant to say this yesterday actually, but I couldn't. I don't know, it just didn't pop in my head or whatever.
Yeah.
So another term for this more of another term for ancestral karma um, that well loosely fits the same definition. There's a lot
Mhm.
of overlap, I should say, is intergenerational trauma. And that's more of like the psychology term or
Yes.
psychological term or whatever.
Right.
Um, and an example of that, so my mom has passed, but when I was a kid, I remember her being really, really afraid of birds. And so even I mean, this is kind of just a this is a kind of a shallow example, but it's simple. So she was really afraid of birds. Like if we'd go to a pet shop or whatever, she could hardly get herself like around the cage of like a parrot or something. And it was just really, really stressful for her because apparently it's kind of funny that my last name's Robin now, but a mother
Yeah.
robin attacked her in her front yard when she was a kid. And um, so like I took that on like like as an empath, like I took on that fear of birds that it's really like even if a duck comes up to me in the wild,
Yeah.
I'm jumping on tables. I It needs to be wild. It needs to
Get
stay
away,
over
duck.
there. Like get
Right.
out of here. You don't belong by me. Um
Right.
so like those outdoor dinings that birds come by and
Oh, yeah.
that's very stressful for me.
Okay. Yeah. I had never experienced it until I went to Hawaii and I was sitting there and a chicken came up to the table. It was like, and I thought, are you our new waiter? No, but really, there's chickens, and then I looked around. I'm like, there's chickens everywhere out here. They just roam around and they
Oh,
eat scraps, and it was amazing. And so
that's interesting.
it was a unique experience. But that was my first experience with birds walking around near my table where I'm eating. And
Yeah.
and I'm really never been afraid of birds, but yeah, yeah. So that's really cool. That's really interesting, though. That wonder
Yeah.
why. Did you ever find out why she was so afraid of birds? I mean, did something happen?
Yeah. She was attacked by a mother robin, like
Oh
just kind
yeah,
of messed
yep,
with her. I mean, attacked. I mean, it was traumatizing. I
yeah,
mean, she probably had
exactly.
no injury, no physical injury, just
Yeah.
hurt her feelings. That's all.
The thing
So
with bats that fly in and people, you cover your head, bats, like they're going to fly in your hair. And they say
yeah, they
that's not
might.
true, that they don't get in your hair. They don't want in your hair.
I'm not taking any chances.
I don't like bats either. I don't really care for bats myself.
No, I like them outside where they can eat all the mosquitoes.
Yeah, those are great. I mean, they're great to have. Yeah, but I don't want them in the house. I've had a bat in my house before, and
Me too,
it's
because
like,
I have a house that I remodeled, and it's like fieldstone foundation in part of the house, and so the mortar over time has kind of gotten little cracks and crevices in it, and they're like mice, and they can get in there, and yeah,
yeah.
they come up from my basement of all places. But I put some spray foam insulation in there a few years ago, and I didn't have them for a while, and then they're back. So that spray foam insulation must break down.
But it does after a while, yeah. And then the good old bats say, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go visit Shannon."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't care for bats. You
It's when
know.
it goes from warm to cold,
Oh, really? Is that when they try?
primarily. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to find some residents. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't like spiders. That's the thing. I don't like those. But I mean, there's lots of things I don't really personally care for. I used to be terrified of bees. And
Yeah.
I don't even have a bee allergy.
Oh,
But I
well,
just,
it hurts to get stung.
yeah,
So,
I would just like run away if I seen a bee. I would literally jump out of the car if a bee came in the car. We're going down the road. I'm like, I'm gonna jump. There's a bee.
well, I knew this lady. She used to sub at the school I worked at, and she was really great actually. And she was like taking returnable cans, like a whole bunch that had been stocked, like had just been in her garage, and she put them in the back of her car. And I think she may have, I don't know if she went to work and had them in there or it doesn't matter. But she was driving down the road. She went to go change the radio. There was
Yeah.
a mouse stuck on the it.
No way.
I don't, she's like, I don't know how I didn't get in an accident, but I pulled over. She was on like the expressway, and
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
she's like, she never saw like if it got out or if it just
Yeah.
hid or
Yeah.
whatever.
Sitting
But
there.
so she had to muscle up and drive and take her cans back. And of course, she had to been peeing her pants though.
Oh,
Just
that's
because they're startling, and you just don't want to go through that.
oh yeah. I don't like them at all. It's like, well, there's different things in life that can, absolutely cause you some stress in there, that yeah, that you're not expecting, all these kind of like creatures, we're not
Yeah.
expecting to be where they are. And
Mhm.
so they're invading our space. But anyway, ancestral karma, how to heal
Yeah.
it. Back to that. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can find that place where I was reading yesterday. So then this morning I found it, which I was like,
Oh, good. Oh, good. Because I found one too that's really great. That is a little bit
that
that crosses over into the more psychologically or psychological whatever
that's
based. Like it kind of blends. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
hit me with it. What's the
Okay,
next
number
one?
5. We were on number 5. That's where we stopped yesterday.
Okay.
5 is loyalty to happiness first and your family second. It sounds selfish, but there's nothing noble about self-sacrifice. It perpetrates more pain and suffering. So step out of the loop and see relationships with a new perspective. Are there
Mhm.
relationships in your life where these toxic behaviors are unavoidable? Are others unwilling to change and stuck in their way? Do you feel obligated to engage with this toxic behavior? Um, you may need to evaluate how much energy that you're willing to invest in maintaining these relationships. It's okay to walk away from a family that pulls you into more toxic mind games. Showing loyalty to a behavior that you want to release is contradictory, as if a scab is getting picked that's trying to heal. Your happiness and quality of life. That's a good mind
Analogy.
analogy. Yeah, the scab that's just trying to heal, and you just keep getting it picked over and over again. In fact, after our broadcast yesterday, I ended up doing sort of a counseling session for a little while, for about an hour, and this is the discussion was about toxic energy that is going on with family members and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the person is so kind and doesn't want to hurt anybody, and that's the in general. Well, most people, they don't want to hurt their family, but
Right.
but the family can be. And I said, there has to be a cutoff line where the family is so toxic, I cannot move forward. It's just like that description there. It's just constantly, I start to heal, and then it gets scraped again, and you're back
Mm-hmm.
to, you're not being healed again. And so this is how to heal your karma, heal your ancestral karma, is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to stop, and you have to step away,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
so hold on a second. I'm having a request for our broadcast.
Oh.
Somebody saying, "Would you send me a link?"
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I got to get this down so that they can.
Yeah. They can find it on if they go to ievolvetv.com, it goes directly to our YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So that might be the easiest.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to send. I just got to spell it right, because it's not spelled like.
What? It's just
It's IEV.
OLVETV.com.
LVE. One word.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. I think that's so annoying when people say, if you watch YouTube videos, I think that's probably why I forget so often. It's like, oh, I don't want to say that. But
okay. Yeah. So there, I got that done.
Okay, good. So
that, yeah, back to
counseling session with somebody yesterday.
Yeah, loyalty to your own happiness first, and your family second.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy all the time. So that's really good. You don't necessarily need to burn any bridges, but distance yourself from the chaos can help you step into your true self.
Yes.
Distance yourself from all that and people's opinions of what you are doing or don't do. It's really difficult. It can be a difficult thing, but you have to think of, like they're saying, you first.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be, it can seem selfish, because most people don't,
It's kind of like healthy parent, healthy children.
Yes.
Same idea. Like if you're always self-martyring and pouring all of yourself into your children, they don't learn how to take care of themselves then either. So
yeah. Excuse me. Do you see these beams of light here?
I do.
Crazy. I'm like, what is going on? Am I going to be like caught up in an alien
might get beamed
any minute?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'll make sure that the camera keeps rolling.
Yeah, for that. Yeah, exactly.
So we've got 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. No, okay. The next one is loyalty to that. Okay. Forgiveness and not revenge. Did we do that? Am I going backwards?
I don't think so. No, I don't think we have. But I think, though, I will advocate that there's a purpose that we have, that, we get to that tipping point. And so it doesn't mean that you lash out or you do something like inappropriate, but sometimes sitting with your anger, your sadness, whatever, is part of the process. So just to forgive prior to you being ready is not actually serving you. So, but there's a point when you're like, okay, well, this is now my anger is toxic to me, and I'm like, it's like secondary trauma. So then that's not good. But there's always a balance in that. So I always, I think the reason why I say that is because how many times have you been brought in? Well, you're an only child, so you didn't have maybe cousins or whatever, and somebody did something to another one, and the parents just want you to just say you're sorry and hug each other right now. I wasn't ready.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I did that to my kids. I
Mhm.
was an only child, so I have no experience dealing with sibs and how to deal with that, So it's like, it's a different, being an only child is a different world. It really is, because you don't got to share with nobody. You don't got to do anything. It's like you're just moving through your space and time in your space and time. So
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
does have a great effect on you in the future, because then you're really still moving through your space and time and not really, so it's just different, and how you approach relationships becomes different because of that. That's in a whole nother story though. So,
Right.
but anyway, forgiveness and not revenge. Freedom flies on the wings of forgiveness. That's really good. When you forgive, you are freeing yourself. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you, because you have expansion. It allows you to be free and gives you forgiveness, brings you freedom. If you don't forgive the action of others, you become a prisoner of the past.
Mhm.
That's excellent. And
Yes.
isn't it, I mean, it's like something, like we all know that it's like something happens in our life and we're very angry and we move through those feelings, but it's like I tell people all the time, a lot of times things sort of like are like a bubbling pot, and the stuff keeps coming back up because it has to be dealt with.
Mhm.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
like it bubbles back up. Oh, I thought I forgave you 20 years ago, you know? And then something will happen, and that trigger, like we talked about, will come up. But this is how we heal. And I believe that's, and how we even heal things that uh, you would call ancestral karma, things that are connected to a family, that's been passed down over generations. Um,
Another term that's kind of enmeshed with this that's I know it's fairly new. If people haven't heard it before. It's called epigenetics.
yes, that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. And that is the fact that everything can be everything. Nothing holds to your DNA. You can change that.
Mhm. Right. So, what's the next one?
Hold on a second. I'm like, they can't find our link. Hey, where is it? Where is it? I'm like,
I can send it to you.
okay.
I can send it to you. So, epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors in the environment can cause changes cause changes that affect the way your genes work.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. You can
that's how.
you are not bound by your genes or by your what's been handed down from the family. Um, the grandpa was a garbage man, daddy was a garbage man, and I'm going to be a garbage man. You know,
Right.
you're not tied to that. Um, the next one is find your kryptonite. Mm.
Hmm. What's that mean?
So you know what you don't want. What does this wound teach you that about what you do want?
Mhm.
An example is for lying in authenticity would be, I'm honest in all my interactions. I'm a man or woman of my word. I am surrounded by others that mirror my authenticity and integrity. This can be written down on a piece of paper. Save these affirmations for a later date.
Mhm.
Let me forward this to
Okay.
our viewer who would like to be a viewer.
Okay. Um, I can also share a screen that has more to do with what is it? I almost said interdimensional. What the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah, it can be. I suppose it could be. Intergenerational trauma.
yes.
So let me just make sure I've got the right screen. All right. And so it's kind of an interesting little thing. We'll show it.
Well, this is good. I don't know how to move this link over. Hold on a second. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you see it?
Yes, that's good.
Okay, good. I was hoping that would be nice and big. So it can show up in your life in many different ways. So this is why it's important to heal. A strong, troubling belief or emotion, which I don't need to read all these, but it can also show up as an addiction or a type of abuse that is just kind of perpetuated down the line. Repeated patterns in the family line that seem to happen at a certain age. Those types of things can happen over and over, like, every man in my family has had a heart attack in their 60s, and by the time I'm 60, I'll have a heart attack, or nobody's ever seen 80 years old, and so you're expecting those things, and so you're drawing it to you as well.
Yes.
So it's very interesting, that those things you do manifest those if you're just stuck on that mindset. Any disease, any like abuse or substance abuse or physical or those types of things, they become intergenerational. So it could be anything. It could be heart disease, it could be diabetes, it could be arthritis, it could be Crohn's disease, it could be IBS. I mean, there's reason why people have these things as well, but oftentimes it just runs in my family. That doesn't really apply as much as we think it does. So
yeah, exactly. We don't have to sort of give ourselves to that, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like there's a ton of people in my family that have asthma. I don't have asthma.
Right.
But if I convinced myself that I did or I was going to get it, I would have asthma.
Exactly. If you because as a man thinketh, so is he, I mean,
Yep.
that we give ourselves over in our mind consciousness to something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so important. What you think is so important. I mean, that's a whole nother a whole nother thing of
Mm-hmm.
really controlling your thoughts and your because as you think it, you feel it, and then you resonate with it, and then it becomes part of part of who you are. And next thing you know, it is part of. I mean, I have like so much. I know a lot of people that, and that have different diseases that run in the family, like your
Mm-hmm.
asthma. My family has cancer. Oh, here, there, spotted throughout the family. And then I had it. I lost a child to it. So it's always knocking at your back door.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say, this has no part of me. This has no
Right.
part of me or my children. And we're not going to open the door to this. But then, if you live in the 3D matrix of what we live in this society, what do? You go to the doctor or whatever, and first thing they say, so what's your family history?
Mm-hmm.
They come and bring you back and bring back
Right.
the stuff. And what's your family history? So then you tell them or whatever, you write it in your little checkbook, and then or little list that they give you, and that's something now. All that's included in everything that you do. It follows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're checking you for this because of, I mean, because of that. And
Mm-hmm. Right.
so that's up to you then. You have to go in and change your DNA.
Yeah.
Change it what it is, go back and heal that space and say, I'm not accepting this. This is not part of who I am. I'm
Right.
not going to do that. So that's
That's
good.
right.
It's good.
So what's the next one?
The next one is ceremony. You
Hmm.
can utilize ceremony which I think ceremony is very foundational, very, what would you call it? It's very much root work, something that's very
Yeah.
grounded. There's been ceremony for centuries. all the way back, as far back as we can go, where people would, and then it came forward and moved forward, and it became a religious thing. Oh, we only do this when we go to church, or we go to we go to sanctuary, or we go
Mhm.
to whatever. This we
Yeah,
do
and it
this
has to
thing,
be led by a religious
and it's
leader. It doesn't
right.
have to be.
Yeah, no. And so ceremony, what they're saying here is by making a ceremony, you can create a release of these patterns. And so I totally believe that you can
Yes.
create a personal release. Um, that they said that this is really effective if done during a new moon or a full
Oh,
moon. Do a full moon release using a sacred fire. So maybe a glass of water to drink, an offering like sage or cedar wood to the ancestors, and music. It says music is optional, but you can get some music and create this very sacred and beautiful event of allowing yourself to rid yourself of ancestral
mhm.
karma, or of things that you feel that you're participating in that may seem like they came down the pike your direction.
Right.
Um,
And you might have to do a lot of them.
yeah, you might have to do one of these every
And they
other.
don't have to be super long. It's just whatever resonates with you.
Yeah, like.
It'd be a moment of setting your intention that
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm not choosing that path. I mean, it can look so many different ways. It can
It's
be
all up
just a
to person.
prayer.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like they say here, to make a prayer
Oh,
and ask and speak your desire to heal the wounds in your family and your DNA. Burn the plant offering. Man, they go like total instructions here. Know that you are supported by your loved ones, your ancestors in this endeavor, and feel their love and support. Um, do a release your intentions and burn it in the fire. The flames act as a destroyer of the old patterns, which we know is really cool.
yeah.
And
It's like, because psychologists will recommend that. They'll say, write it down and then burn it. It's the same
it's the
thing.
same thing, yeah, but it turns it into more of a spiritual
Right.
ceremony, which
Hmm.
I dig that. It's
Or releasing a balloon, you
yes,
know,
releasing a balloon. Yeah,
any of
exactly.
those things that's what they're talking about. They're not
Mhm.
necessarily talking about you need to like build a steeple and a cathedral and don some robes. It's just,
Right. Yeah. Put on your holy fish hat and go
yeah,
out.
you don't have to do that.
Go into your
Mhm.
yard and start a fire in a
Oh,
pot.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I like that a
It
lot.
says to read your kryptonite affirmations 3 times and imagine and put it into your cells. I mean, I used to have a friend that she would say, I talk to my cells every day. I get up in the morning and I say, cells, you are doing wonderful today. You are healthy and happy. So talk to your cells and 3 times and integrate it into your cells and feel and permeate your being. Read the affirmation the 4th time and direct it to the glass of water. Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah,
And the
kind of like
water will absorb
infusing.
the intention,
Yeah,
and
like,
then drink
yeah,
it.
we talked about that. Like the same thing, like, when you're practicing for Reiki, you infuse your water, your food with Reiki. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, just infuse that water. Yeah, I
Infuse whatever.
forget about that. That you can just sort of
Yep.
take that water, because water does can be infused, and infuse it with all the things. I used to, years ago I did have like stickers I would stick on my water bottle.
Oh yeah.
That said love, joy, it's a
Yeah.
good day, and so it's infusing that water with that good, high vibrational, beautiful energy. I mean, like joy is a really positive thing. Number
We've
7,
done
take
we've done a
responsibility.
podcast about that. Sorry.
Oh, about what?
We've done a podcast about that, how water will take on like it takes on the energy of what the intention is. Like you can, so like and then this, I want to say he was a scientist out of Japan.
Well,
Um
Emoto or whatever.
I
Was
don't
it
remember
Emoto?
now,
His
but
name is, but yeah, he worked with water.
yeah. And like, so if you got angry and the water was around you, and then they put it under a microscope and they flash froze it and then stuck it under the microscope, it didn't look like this beautiful snowflake. But if it was you know presented in like prayer and love and gratitude, it would, and they looked at it under the microscope, the same way. It was this beautiful snowflake pattern, but it was all like weird
Yeah.
if
Well,
if it was
yeah,
introduced to like
exactly.
abuse or like somebody yelled at the water or something. And even like when they had it in the presence of an elephant and then they froze it and looked at it, it
What?
had this beautiful snowflake. Yeah. And inside the snowflake was this little trunk of an elephant.
Really?
Yeah, elephant. Yeah. Like you can find it on YouTube. Yeah, it's totally cool.
Wow, little
Hmm.
elephant. Yeah, that makes sense, because there's it's we are creators. We're the divine created beings. So,
Yeah.
and it's so and the water is just such a receptor of everything. And think about it, we're like so much water.
Hmm.
So we are taking in all that energy and we are, it's
Yeah.
definitely it changes the structure, because of the water in our
Yeah,
body.
absolutely. I mean, they did that with people too, that they looked at um, like just a little drop of blood,
Mhm.
um, and they did the same thing. Yeah, they repeated it and how the cells looked. I don't remember all the specifics, but it's definitely on
It's
YouTube
pretty
and
cool.
findable.
Yeah,
Hmm.
pretty cool. I always thought the water study was really amazing. First time I heard about it, I think it is Dr. Moto, and the way he would do water, and one was hate, the other one was love, and they look so different, and one
Hmm.
was so beautiful, and then the other one. I mean, it's just like you can't deny it. That
Right,
that's why you speak love to things in your life. You're creating beauty, and you speak, and you think in a lower vibration. You think you know it's not going to create what you really want. And that's
right.
why I encourage people to, it's so hard. I know it can be so hard to move out of those low spaces when you're going through stuff. And um,
Yes, it is.
it's very hard. And you can't see the light sometimes. It's like I
Hmm.
can't even see ahead for myself, maybe even just a foot. I just want hope.
Yeah.
And, and there is hope. There is great hope that you can move out of that space uh, and just take, but this is take responsibility for your happiness. You
Is that
hold
the
the key.
last one that I
Nope, you got
interrupted
two
you?
more, two more, and then we're done. Uh,
Oh,
take responsibility for your happiness. You hold the key. Your happiness lies inside your perception of the present moment.
oh, Greg told us.
Perception.
Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Thank you, honey. Um,
Thank you, honey.
thank you, honey. Thanks for joining us this morning. Yeah. Um, Yeah, that's the guy. Look up, you can look up his studies, his YouTube, art and pictures of the water studies that he did. Very amazing, and it just takes it right down to the cellular level of who we
Yep.
are. Your happiness lies inside your perception. Percept. That used to be a big deal to me. I would say that to everybody. You live what you perceive, and through your own perception, because it's going to look a different way for somebody else. Take note of triggers as they arise. These are ways to heal, because they will find those triggers and say, "Wow, why is this triggering me?" Find a
Hmm.
new healthy way of responding to the trigger. Keep making your happiness your priority and adjust your life as necessary. Give yourself gratitude for doing sacred work. That's really good. Sometimes
Yeah.
you need to step back and say, yeah, I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. I heard last week, a good friend of mine, she's reading a book and she said, I'm just throw this at you. She said, she said, I've been reading this book, and she said, it's so fantastic. She said, if you can do just one sit up or one squat, you can say you exercise. And she said, if you spend 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes in meditation, you can say, I'm a meditator. She said, if you spend 2 minutes read the book, you can say, I'm a reader. And she said, because then you are. She said, and so you grow into that. She said, so today you do 2 minutes, you do two squats. I'm an exerciser, you know, and then I'm like, really? That's cool. I love that because I hate exercise. I'll do that. I'll do two squats. I'm an exerciser. She said, then the next day you do three squats, you know, or
Yeah.
do you 5 minutes of yoga. I do yoga every day. Do 5 minutes. The
Hmm.
point is just doing it. I read one page of a book. I'm a reader, you know, and do just the point of just doing it for just one time, you know, and so
Sure.
it starts off little. So take that accountability. Say, okay, I'm taking accountability. I'm going to change my destiny. I'm going to change the way I think. I'm going to change my cellular structure. I'm going to speak health to my body today. I'm
Yeah.
not going to participate in the past karma of what was.
And I
The
think
last,
I think she was speaking to as well as the hardest part is always the hardest part is showing up.
yes, getting started. Exactly.
Showing up for yourself. And that we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. It was like, I can't believe you got your dedication of going to the gym at 5:45. And that is the hardest part, is just
Getting there.
getting there. That is
Yeah.
the hardest part, because you're going to do something once you're there.
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
not
Well,
be
that's
your
what
best
they said
workout,
too. She's
but
like, well, drive to the gym and sit in the parking lot.
I have left. So
You did it. You did it. You got there though. You got there. And the next day, drive there, get there, and go in.
right.
I mean, it's that process, like you said, of getting started. And that's why this is, we're just encouraging people to get started on healing those things that they have felt have not been healed.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they be lagging through personal pain or handed down from, I'll tell you a good one. This is a real good one. About the Hatfields and the McCoys. They're like feuding.
Those
They're
feuding families.
feuding in the mountains. Okay. Um, well, there used to be some people like that where my grandparents lived. My grandma was like, "They better not come over here. They better not come over here. I'll shoot them." You know. She's like, and there was like this rivalry. What would you call it? That was going on for generations. Don't you come over here? And that I think is just it's a mindset. That permeates with certain people. That
Mm-hmm.
they just don't want to make peace because we've been feuding forever. And
Right.
the movie industry has taken it and ran with it, and and made fun of it. But it's very serious when you take
Yeah.
that kind of anger towards somebody for generations, and then finally the kids say, you know what, enough is enough. We're gonna just be done with this.
We don't even know why we're
We don't
arguing.
even know we're fighting. And they said they were like the Hatfields and McCoys. They went back to the beginning, and it was over a hog or something. The whole feud started over a hog.
Well, but then, I mean, when that would have originally happened way back when, that probably was really important, and it was probably really detrimental.
Yeah, it's my hog. You can't have it.
Yeah.
You can't have my hog.
Right.
So we're gonna feud over it. Yeah. Like, no. But okay, last one I got here is ask for support. Others can see things that we can't, especially when we are observers rather than players. A close friend, spouse, coach, therapist, uh, a healer, anything can
Sure.
support you in your growth and give you authentic input and constructive criticism on your behavior. Someone who is lovingly can call you out on your shit and wants to help you integrate this healing in your life. This can amplify the awareness of the subconscious behavior that you may be participating in, which is your first step in growth. So you need somebody out there. That's
Sure.
just a positive thing. Somebody in your life that says, hey, no, we're not doing this. I don't want to see you go through this path,
Sure.
and so that's good. I like
That is
that.
good.
Somebody to call you out on your shit.
Did it really say shit, or are you just saying it?
Yeah, I like that. What?
Did it really say shit, or do you just
It
have
really said it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
So I did pull up one myself, like that's the same. It's a little bit I mean, I don't really want to go through another list, but
no, go ahead though. Bebop a little bit with it, and then we can call it
yeah.
good till tomorrow.
I can put it up on the screen because there's just a little bit a different angle, but this is the one that I was saying that it kind of intertwines the intergenerational trauma a little bit.
Okay.
So like everybody has a different take on how this is to be healed, or to how to go about it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the right one, right tab. Can you see it? Oh, wait, I gotta,
No, I can't see it.
can't see it.
I can't see
I
it.
always forget when I hit share, like I've got to actually open that window.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, just really straightforward. It can help release negative beliefs, programs, and patterns inherited from your parents, ancestors, and religious upbringing.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. Number 2, ancestral healing brings a unique angle to other modalities don't address.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about root cause of the issue. These are your family of origin, and you know,
it's simply address the symptoms. Okay. Oh, get to the root and not just yeah. That's the whole thing right there. Big
right.
deal. Big
And
deal.
it heals your you know, and we think of it as an energy center. It's you start at the beginning, and that's the root chakra. So, or that energy center.
Right.
It liberates us on a cellular memory and DNA level, which impacts every other level of our being. Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Ancestral healing transforms our deepest patterns at the source where they begin. Yep. And if you're on a path of awakening and feel called to heal yourself, ancestral healing is a straightforward guide. Straightforward, I don't know. It's so, and here they talk about intergenerational trauma. So yeah, I mean, it does do all those things. It's just getting there.
Yeah.
And when we figure out, I think we talked about it yesterday, where are our triggers? What kind of things trigger us? Tend to be like where it hurts. That's what needs to heal.
Yes, that's
Pretty
good.
simple.
That's
but
good.
It's not always quite that straightforward. So,
yeah,
you know, we just keep trying.
Yeah. And as we move through our healing, you know, little by little, it is, you know, like I said, things sort of bubble up. You know, you go through, I'm healed, you know, and you're going through your life, and then something happens, and then you realize, wow, I'm not healed right there. This is this is tender still. But like that other article I was going through about, you know, you're healing, and then you have toxic people that come along and rip that back open, and now it's got to heal again. And so that's why eliminating those toxic people, even if they're family, I mean, it can be so hard to do, but you can distance yourself and just say, you know what, I'm not going to submit myself to this anymore. I have to heal. And especially if they have constant toxic behaviors that are just really, you know, they're not healed themselves, you know?
Right.
And like both of the articles you were saying, taking responsibility for yourself, that's a big one. Saying, I need this. I'm going to seek somebody out that's going to hold me accountable for my shit. And I'm going to follow my path into my personal healing, because this is about me being able to move forward and carry the most light that I can in this realm here. We are bodies of light, and this physical, what would you call it? This physical vehicle we pick up just to move through time and space as a body of light, as a body of energy. This is just something we picked up and said, okay, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. It isn't perfect, but whatever, you know.
Right.
You know, some of us are more choosy, I guess, what they pick up, but you know, so you just take it and you utilize this body to move this spirit through this time and space. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but I shared this with you yesterday. Can you see it? Is it big enough?
Yes, I can't. You can't read it though, but it was really cool. What's it say again? I forgot.
It says, I'm going to make it bigger.
Yeah.
It says, when you tend to your ancestral roots, you heal at the root.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So we started out. Can you see it better now?
Oh yeah. Now it's perfect. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. So, you know, we started out talking about how to get in contact with your ancestors, right? To kind of to go backtrack. Well, you start with what is most accessible, and be reflective and observant of how you might be perpetuating those same things in your life. So it gets to be very personal, and it like we said it in the beginning, it was like it's kind of like you throw a pebble into a body of water, there's a ripple effect that happens throughout the generations. So, and we're healing 7 generations forwards and 7 generations back. Now, we can either work towards healing, right, or perpetuating or creating more. So if we're enlightened enough, I even say I'm not enlightened. I'm more like I'm not even awake. I'm just kind of aware. But if you're aware of that, the intention in this lifetime is to probably not create more. So
yes, not to create more, definitely.
mhm.
Uh,
Because what we do will affect those generations
those
too. Like
generations.
if it's negative, as well. So
Yeah, and another good one to think about is what do you do? This is just a question just popped in my head. What do you
okay.
do when you're much older and you have created a bunch of, you created stuff with your own children. Now they're grown and they're carrying forward a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that they don't need now, that you were carrying your baggage at that time when maybe they were young and you deposited all this stuff into their life, and now you're seeing all of this coming forward and you're like, whoa, wow,
Yeah.
how am I going to clear this now? But now
Well,
you have to convince them that they need to clear it.
yeah. Well, I think that there's a lot of people that go through that. It's called making amends because they know that they're coming into the twilight of their existence, and they start to say, remember when this happened, and but I don't know that people do that work with such intention to um, really create a platform for real deep healing. I think it's more of a peripheral, and not, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but
Right, right. Yeah. Well, it's like, I think, yeah, that's really powerful thought if you think about it in the sense of, our parents, my parents say, well, my dad's already transitioned, but, you know, the generation they came from, the like 40s, 50s, it was a different generation, and the way that their parents raised them was totally different. It doesn't look nothing like what we have going on now. And
mm-mm,
then so they go back and they are trying to heal this, to heal from their generation, from what their parents' concepts and perceptions were of proper parenting.
mm-hmm,
And back then it was, we didn't have personal, nobody had no cell phone. You didn't have no cell phone, no iPad, no, that's what I was talking to my daughter yesterday. And I said, think about it. When you were young, you didn't have all these things. You didn't have
right.
no phones, no iPads, and now 3-year-old has an iPad, and they're playing on these devices.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're not creating something here? We're creating a dependency on devices where
Yes.
you can't even play outside in the dirt. Like that's how I was raised. Go out and play in the dirt, Drema. You know, go out
Is
there
that
and
how
make
they said it?
go out and make some mud pies. And I'd sit outside and make mud pies, and I'd dump them out and I'd make like tons of them, and I'd invite, the ants to come and play.
Uh,
Yeah, I was the only child. Okay, no judgment.
I'm not judging.
No judgment. But I'm saying though, I think that was very well rounded for me as a
Mhm.
child. This is what you did. And my mom's generation, she said they played with rocks and dirt. That's how they did. We'd make pies and stuff like that. Yeah. What is Greg saying?
He says, why Dr. Joe Dispenza and the new science say time does not exist in the quantum field. Look up and read about Leonard. Can't really say that last name.
And the
And
double
the double bind prayer
blind
study.
prayer study. It'll blow
It'll
your
blow
mind.
your mind.
Really? Never heard of
Mhm.
that.
I think it has to do with quantum entanglement.
If they look up and read about Leonard Leboki
Maybe he'll
and the blind, that would be something we could do tomorrow.
Libovici. Libovici.
Lebovici. Yeah. Lebovici and the
Leibovici.
blind prayer study. That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. I bet
Well, I
that,
think, when people go to prison and, you know, they go to like the parole board and they're like, I found God and, I'm a changed man and blah, blah, blah,
right.
that stuff. I think that's some of the same things, you know, where they're making amends and they're trying to, heal these things, so, I mean, it sounds cliche and that, but I mean, I think there's times where that actually happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Well,
And the other
definitely.
thing too is like, yeah, to speak about how we're raised differently in different generations, and like the generation of the participation awards,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's how that will have an effect. And I think it's already happening. Because they're having children now, and there's a lot of entitlement and things of that
Yeah.
nature. I don't know if that's very healthy for an individual. you know
Yes, definitely, definitely. That's what I think we're going to find in the next few years, next generation that's coming. We're going to really
Mhm.
see what's happened with all this.
The
And
backlash.
yeah, exactly. That's always what happens with everything. You see
Yeah,
the end of it, and then we're like, wow, we really screwed that up, a lot
right.
of.
And
And
I've
not
seen,
that playing with dirt was the best thing,
right.
for kids, but I think I mean, it had a great effect for me. I mean, it made me very
Look how healthy
grounded.
you are.
How
Yeah,
healthy I am. I'm
right,
grounded, eat dirt, and it doesn't bother me.
right. So
Yeah.
I think too, because we also moved away from parenting that involved a lot of corporal punishment. I've seen, like, with my friends who had very parents that's how they manage behavior. And so I've seen the swing with my friends that I'm not doing that at all. And so there's, and I'm not advocating spanking, I'm totally not,
Right.
but when mom says to A, B, C, and D, whatever, sometimes you need some physical prompts to
Yes.
make sure that happens, or you're going to stay in timeout. And
Yeah.
if I have to hold you in timeout, we're going to be in timeout. And because then we don't have boundaries. We don't have boundaries of, yeah, you're going to follow directions, and I'm going to make sure that you do. And you have to be very intentional with your parenting in that way. And so we've swung the other way in some regards, and now we have another issue. So
Well, we're
um,
creating more karma to heal.
yeah,
When they
because
grow up.
yeah,
I looked
because
up.
if you don't figure out how to do it now, maybe the
Yeah,
police will have to show them when they're 25.
later.
So
Exactly.
let's not have that happen.
No, no, let's not create more.
Right.
Exactly. I guess that's what my title, if I had to, my emphasis of my story of the dirt. But I looked up the Dr. What's his name? Leonard Lebloki.
Dr. Leonard Nimoy.
No, Leonard
Oh,
Lebloki. Anyway, it's the effects of remote reactive intercessory prayer on patients with bloodstream infection in it says randomized controlled trial. The objective was to determine whether remote intercessory prayer said for groups of patients with blood infections has effects on the outcome. So they took 3,000 adult patients with bloodstream infections, was detected at the hospital.
wow.
Libo, he puts it on there. Uh,
Libovici. Libovici.
Libovici. In June of 2000, in July, 2,000 patients were randomized to a controlled group and an intervention group. A remote retroactive intercessory prayer was said for the well-being of and recovery of this group of patients.
What's an intercessory prayer?
Intercessory prayer is it's just sort of where you pray. Um, how would I describe it? Just sort of where you pray, consistently, basically,
Oh,
for
okay.
these people. You're just sort of every day you're praying consistently for these people.
Like at the same time, kind of like a group meditation?
Yeah,
Or
sort of like that. Sort of like
okay.
that. Um, uh, the main outcome measures mortality in the hospital, the length of stay, hospital duration, and fever. Results: the mortality was 28%, 28.1% in the intervention group and 30% in the controlled group. Length of stay in the hospital and duration of fever was significantly shorter in the intervention group, those that had the intercessory prayer. The conclusion um, is remote reactive intercessory prayer said for the group and associated with a shorter stay in the hospital and shorter duration of fever. Patients with bloodstream infection should be considered for use in clinical practice. So it's the controlled group, one group that was, had the intercessory prayer or meditation that was focused with them. They had shorter hospital stay. Fever was, came down quicker. Everything was more raised positive, and then the other group really probably, they did recover, but not as fast. And
Okay.
so, 57% of the randomized placebo-controlled trials of distance healing showed a positive treatment. So it's basically, setting that intention and sending that healing energy. That's why it's so powerful. When somebody says, I need healing in my body or whatever, somebody calls you, a friend puts a request to you, sending that, white light, sending that healing to them is very powerful.
Yes.
That intention to them. I'm believing in you. You know how much you can do for somebody just to tell them, I believe in you? I
Yep.
believe in you. I believe you can do this. You're going to be fine. You're going to make it through. And sending that, and these people, I would say, I didn't read the whole thing here. We can go into it more. But whether they knew that somebody was sending intention to them through prayer or not. It's like the placebo effect of people taking something and they don't, they don't, I see what he's saying. The key to the study, you will read read the whole study is that the prayers said in 202 were for people in a different time.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a great study. I remember reading this a while back, and I thought, wow, that's very amazing.
My dad's praying the snow will go away.
Yes,
It will.
Dry up.
It definitely will.
Yes, it will. It will. As the morning goes on, it's going to do that. But anyway,
yeah,
it's very, very amazing.
So what the I think what Greg's point is that prayer said now can heal the past and the future. It's the time is not linear.
There's no time. And that really plays into the whole part of healing the past.
And I think somehow that the string theory is intertwined into that, or the debunking of it is because it's nonlinear.
Right. Yes.
That's getting really quantum-y.
Yeah, it's really good though. Very good. And I don't know where we're going with this tomorrow.
I don't know.
Our big shebang. We should get balloons and fireworks tomorrow. Blow it off here. Boom! We had a whole week of no bullshit.
I know. It's been nice.
It's been good. It's been really good. I've been and we've overwent our stay a little bit today, but that's okay. Because I was like, well, we're sort of celebrating. We've made it a whole week and we've never done this. So we never did this before. And tomorrow is sort of our key day. Sort of, I don't know what we're going to move into tomorrow, but we might continue this. We might not. I don't know.
Yeah, might be a new topic.
Might be totally new, but we worked on ancestral karma for like a few days now.
And we haven't, surprisingly, even in 4 days, we have not had any questions.
No questions. It's just a lot of
good
listeners. We usually have questions on Friday, so all the questions will be tomorrow.
Maybe. We'll see.
Please put it on my desk by tomorrow morning. Have all your questions ready for tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, isn't this fun? I've got like this light coming over my head.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up.
Yes, that pretty much does.
Why we would want to do it. Why would you want to contact or be in touch with the energy of your ancestors? Because you're healing it into now, the present, and the future.
Yep, exactly.
That's why you want to live a better life. You don't want to create more bullshit.
Exactly, and that's what this is all about. No bullshit. Right. We want to continue. We don't want to continue with I've heard it's like that. I've heard said, tell a new story. Tell a new story. You don't want to keep continuing that story. What happened to grandma and grandpa and on and on and on. And this is what happened. You want to start it, tell a new story for yourself. What do you
Yeah.
want? What do you want for your life? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to necessarily, but it can just be a story. It can just be a story or an experience, but
Yeah.
change it, heal it into now.
Yes.
Does that make sense? I don't have another word other than story.
No, he doesn't, but that's
It can be
okay.
an experience.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're healing your past into the present and into your future. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it is changing your story, reframing.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell a new story.
Tell a new tale.
Tell
Yes.
yeah. Say something new for yourself. What do you want? And what do you want? Let's go back and heal the past. Get rid of it so you can come into a new story for yourself. When I'm not aligning myself with what the past that my parents had.
Right.
You know, it's a good
Mm-hmm.
thing. But this has been a wonderful morning.
Yeah, you got really quiet there for a second. I'm like, oh, something's coming.
Yeah.
Nothing?
Yeah, I've just got a lot going on in my head right now. So I'm just I'm
So
just
what
thinking
else is new?
like tell a new story,
Right.
it's good. Sort of just honing in for the day. But
Okay.
anyway, tomorrow morning we'll just have a beautiful explosive day. No bullshit Friday. We're
Good
right.
Friday, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes, it's Good Friday. Yeah. It's a day of, this is like a friend of mine said this is a time of life, death, and resurrection. We're just, we're moving through that space, and just to acknowledge that, and we're somewhere in there, and sometimes all of three. Probably we're moving through life, death, and resurrection all the time.
Yes, we
And
are.
so it's good. So we'll just acknowledge that tomorrow, probably.
Sure.
Resurrection, resurrection. Hey, yeah. I mean, and I'll just
Cool.
continue this beaming light over me, like I'm downloading. So all the time.
Yes. Look at you.
Yeah. It's funny.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Thank you
Namaste,
for all our
everyone.
joiners and people that joined in today. Bless you. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see
You
you all
too.
tomorrow. Bless you all. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.